Howdy ho neighbors, it's Cody here with Secondhand Farms, and it is a beautiful October day. But being October, it is almost November, and that means that we're getting really close to freezing temperatures. Matter of fact, I'm sure probably most of the viewers up north have probably already seen their first frost. We are supposed to get down to 27, I believe Thursday, unless they change it, and that is below freezing, so that means the garden's getting close to being done. But what I want to talk about today is antifreeze, how to check it and to make sure that you have the right antifreeze for your vehicle. Because every single one of these back here behind me take a different antifreeze. It's not a one size fits all. There's several different kinds, and I will talk to you about these here. And this is just a handful of the vehicles we have on the farm, and like I said, they're all different. And I have a couple others that wouldn't start, so they take something different as well. And so let's check it out. All right, so let's start off with, I will show you what I'm going to be checking antifreeze with. This is the one I use. It has, see that little needle in there floating, or pointer in there floating. I got this at Atwood's. Atwood's has them. Any farm store is going to have them. Walmart has them. Auto parts store, they're pretty well anywhere. I like this one over the one with the little baster looking deal with the balls in it, because this here it's going to be, I feel, more accurate, because it's going to float and it's going to be pointing right to a temperature, and you know that's where it's at. Because sometimes if your antifreeze starts getting old, the balls might gradually float up, and this is faster to me. I could be wrong, it's all preference. But anyways, and something else, just about all of them will show you the boiling point and the freeze point, because this side here has your freeze point, this side here has your boiling point. Now a lot of people don't know, but antifreeze actually raises the boiling point of your cooling system as well, because water and ambient air pressure will boil at 210 degrees. Being in a pressurized system will raise that some, but antifreeze will raise it higher. So we will go ahead and start out with this jewel on the end. This is our 8N Ford 1952 model. This one here uses the old traditional green. I'll show you the bottle here in a minute. You always want to make sure that these are at least cool. They can be warm, but you don't want them hot, because the system gets pressurized as the temperature rises. So you want to be careful opening these up if they're very warm at all, because it may spew back in your face and then it'll burn you, and that's never good. So we'll go ahead and take the radiator cap off. Look down in there, and I know this is nasty. I've been needing to flush this since the day I bought it, and I just haven't got around to it. So we'll stick our little tester down in there and squeeze the ball. Bring it up. Ooh, that is gross. We'll pull it out and fold it up. Now it's hard to see, but looks like we are at negative 35 degrees Fahrenheit. I will show you that. See what that looks like. God, that is gross. So there it is. You can just barely see. Turn it towards the light maybe. You can barely kind of see it right here, right there at that negative 20, negative 35 mark. That stuff is so gross. I really need to flush it. And something else, you need to flush this out with water in between each test if you're going to do it between different vehicles like we are today, so you don't get cross-contamination and you don't get all that nasty junk in your system on another machine. So this one is good. Here in Oklahoma, we do not get that cold. Had close to that during the Arctic blast we had last winter, but it is very, very uncommon. So I would say this is probably safe for us. It may be different for some of you up north. Negative 35 may be closer to normal, but she's good, so we don't need to do anything to it. Okay, so this is the antifreeze to use with these older tractors and older pickups. It is the classic green formula. This one here is full strength, so you will have to dilute it with You're supposed to use distilled water, so you're not getting minerals or irons or anything else in your system, because it's not supposed to have that in it. Now, if you look on the back, they have all of your, this is the specifications for everything that it can be used in. Now you've got Chrysler, GM, John Deere. Now you want to look in your owner's manual if you have one. A quick Google search will also give you this answer. But you want to make sure that your standard is on the back of this jug if you use it in your tractor or your pickup. Because like I said, it's also for GM, it's also for Chrysler. There's a lot of different ones. And it doesn't necessarily have to be this brand, but this is the brand that Atwood's had, and it was on sale. These were a lot more forgiving on what antifreeze to use, because it didn't really matter. Ford, Chevy, tractor, car, truck, didn't matter. They were all pretty well the same. Just a cast iron block, not much for aluminum, some aluminum. Plastics were pretty well the same. Rubber for the hoses were all pretty well the same. And later on, everybody started using different materials when they were making their vehicles, because this truck, cast iron block, aluminum heads. That car over there, I believe, that is all aluminum. So different plastics, different metals, really depends on what additives are in it for corrosion resistance, because some of that stuff, they put them together and the materials do not go together, but with the corrosion inhibitors in the antifreezes, keeps them from eating each other. So that is the correct antifreeze and how to check it on the older stuff that takes the conventional green. So as we move up in years, we'll take a look at this 06 now, and nobody has a cap directly into the radiator anymore, or they have these surge tanks, so you're not blowing, if it gets hot, it doesn't blow antifreeze out into the environment. It contains it in here unless it's just absolutely too full, and then it will eventually push it out. But to make sure that you're not checking your windshield washer fluid or something, because a lot of these caps are very similar looking on top. If you look here, see, that looks like a radiator and it says Dexcool. Chevrolet and, well, GM use Dexcool. Now that is their catchphrase for antifreeze, and it is, like I said, different additives than there might be in Ford and their Motorcraft stuff, or Chrysler. I'm not sure what Chrysler calls theirs, but anyways, so each of these are going to be just a little bit different. So we're going to go ahead and open the cap on it. Now this in here should be fairly clean, because it blew a radiator hose on me a while back and I flushed it all out and everything, and put new antifreeze in it. So it's going to take a little bit of working to get down in where I need it to. Yeah, it's all pretty. Now this one, according to it, it is low. See, I'm at 0 on it. So I probably need to, it's got some more room, I could add some. I'll probably put some straight antifreeze in this to kind of strengthen it up a little bit, because that is low and it is common for us to get to 0 or below. So definitely don't want any ice crystals. And this is why you check it, because I didn't know. I thought it was going to be strong enough, but apparently I got a little too much water in it when I was mixing it. And this is the proper antifreeze for this truck. See, it says Dexcool, which is what this truck takes. And if you look on the back, it says right here, compatible with all vehicles that use Dexcool coolant. It also has your freeze chart, tells you what concentration you need for what temperature it is. Yeah. Something else I wanted to tell you is antifreeze actually does wear out, and it does need to be flushed and replaced periodically. This is good for 5 years or 150,000 miles. And what gives out on it is it may get a little bit weaker as far as freeze temperatures but also your corrosion inhibitors that I was talking about earlier, they eventually break down just from the heat and just from age. And like I said, if you don't keep up on that, your engine will eventually start corroding and you'll start having leaks, and it could eventually become catastrophic to the point where you can't fix it. So right on down the line here, this is our 72 Volkswagen Super Beetle. We'll go ahead and check the antifreeze on it. Well, that's weird. Maybe it's in the back, you know, like those fancy sports cars. Well, I hope it's back here. If it ain't, I don't know where else it'd be. Yeah, see, there it is. I told you. Now, where's the radiator at? Man, they put these things in here so tight you just can't find nothing. Oh wait, that's right, they're air cooled. Haha, gotcha. Yep, for those of you that don't know, the old Volkswagens were all air cooled. And the reason for that is when they designed them, not everybody in Germany had garages to put their stuff in the wintertime to keep them warm, keep them out of the weather, except for high-end people like doctors, lawyers, stuff like that. So they made them air-cooled so you didn't need to worry about antifreeze or draining them out, because actually antifreeze was designed around 1927, and it really wasn't that commonplace, especially on farms and stuff, because you look at a lot of the tractor manuals and stuff, it says drain and refill daily with fresh creek water, because not everybody had antifreeze and creek water was much more available. So, little cool tidbit of information. And this one here, I won't bother showing you how to check it because it's the same as all the rest of them, but it is a G05, and it is what this car takes, because if you look down here, it says Volkswagen. So you want to make sure that what antifreeze you use is what is for the vehicle. There are several antifreezes out there that say they are for all imports or for all domestics, and kind of had mixed reviews with that, because like I said, all vehicle manufacturers have different building materials, and that really depends on what corrosion inhibitors or rust inhibitors that they use. But I do believe that if you were to run solely that, like completely flush your system out, make sure that it is completely void of any other antifreeze that may have been in the system, then you can probably get away with it, because it is cheaper than vehicle specific, and it's definitely cheaper than the dealer. But I feel safer using the ones that do specifically call out that manufacturer. That's just my own opinion. Alright guys, so in closing, we reaffirmed that this one needs flushed horribly, and this one needs some pure antifreeze put in it to strengthen it up, because 0 degrees for here is not strong enough. It will get crystally, and if we have another bad winter like they're calling for, there is a good chance that it could freeze and bust your block, and you definitely don't want that, because that is very, very expensive, and antifreeze is very much cheaper than a brand new block. Some of you guys up north, you probably need it even colder than that, or even stronger than that. Those of you down south, you're probably like, 0 degrees, that's freaking cold. Well, here in Oklahoma, we have the weather of both. And so anyways, I hope you guys found this informational. Hopefully maybe it helped some of you that was kind of on the fence of what antifreezes to use, or what you're really looking for, or even how to check it. With the price of everything going up, just general service on vehicles is getting more expensive, and something like this is super easy. Anybody that can read one of those little testers can do it themselves. You can service it yourself. I would like to do a video. I don't know if I'm going to get it done this winter, but I would like to do a video on flushing this one, just so you can see how it's done. Anyways, thanks guys for watching. Be sure to share the video with your friends. Be sure to like and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. And thanks for watching. Until I see you next time. Bye.